In 1853, a man named Hamilton Craig came to California. In 1865, he bought this land. He bought approximately 240 acres of land here in Oakville in the Napa Valley of California. In 1868, he planted vineyards, one of the first vineyards ever planted in the Napa Valley. There's been vineyard on this land for 150 years. It truly is one of this hallowed ground here in the Napa Valley.
Yeah, the history since the first planting in 1868 has been one of just world-renowned grapes, quality, really high-quality wines. And so the quality isn't just inherent in the vineyard, and it comes from the soil, it comes from the climate, and the people. Our job is just to kind of shepherd those grapes along through harvest every year.
The Tokelon Vineyard has a diversity of soils, as well as the right terroir, climate, sun, and shade from the mountains that enable Cabernet Sauvignon and Sauvignon Blanc grapes to really thrive here. You have soils toward the mountains that are much different than the soils as you move in toward the river. And so that diversity of soils, as well as the microclimate that we are in here at Oakville, really lends itself to growing excellent grapes.
The university actually has 20 acres of this old Tokelon vineyard. It was subsequently referred to as the old Federal Vineyard. It's actually been maintained by the university since the 1950s or so. We use this vineyard for research, viticultural research pertaining to grapevine pests and diseases, perhaps rootstock trials, cover crops, irrigation regimens, and it's a valuable resource for the department, and we're very, very honored to actually have part of this old historic vineyard.
We're just so proud to be honored by the California State Fair to give this award to the vineyard. It is to the vineyard and not to us. We're privileged to be able to farm it, we're privileged to be able to walk on it, but we really appreciate the California State Fair to recognize the vineyard, the land itself, and I think that's a great honor.
Here at the Tokelon Vineyard, we have the ability to replant sections of the vineyard that enable us to put into practice learnings that we've had over the decades that we've been here. And so we have fruit off of this vineyard that was originally planted in 1945, our oldest block, the I block, Sauvignon Blanc, which produces some of the most concentrated Sauvignon Blanc in North America, as well as new Cabernet plantings that are taking advantage of all the learning we've done over the last 4 decades. And so with that patchwork of older vines and younger vines, we're able to craft wines that live up to Mr. Mondavi's expectations.
I see the vineyard headed in really the same direction. Our job as vineyard managers and winemakers is to shepherd the vineyard along, keep the vineyard healthy, and to really honor the land and protect the land and use sustainable farming methods and really think about the long-term future. Because of our long history of having grapes here at Tokelon, we want to really make sure that we're being stewards to the land and making sure this vineyard is going to stay in production and make some of the best wines in the world for a long time to come.
This vineyard, I think, is going to continue to be produce some of the greatest grapes in California and maybe the world. We farm this vineyard with what we call soft hands, in that we are very sustainable here, in that we try not to deplete the soil or anything of that sort. Plus, this vineyard has been put into a conservation easement by my family, which means that there can never be a winery, never be a home, can never be any building built on this at all. And then it's going into our family's what we call National Treasures Trust, which means that the family can never sell the property. So you can be sure that this will be a vineyard forever. We hope that we can contribute this to the Napa Valley and to the history of California by keeping it in the vineyard and letting everybody enjoy the scenery, enjoy the grapes, enjoy the wine forever.
At this time, we ask that the owners of the famed Tokelon Vineyard step forward to receive their awards.
Receiving the award tonight on behalf of Robert Mondavi is Mr. Matt Ashby, Director of Vineyard Operations. Andy Beckstoff is accepting on behalf of Beckstoff Vineyard, Dr. David Black, Chair of the Viticulture and Enology Program for the University of California at Davis. Again, let's join in congratulating all three of the gentlemen.